Welcome to the ongoing rhetorical shootout at the OK Corral. You're watching Smart Remarks. So the gun battle goes on. Here in Lancaster County, we had another front page stories about guns flying off gun store shelves. And I don't know about you, but I've been under assault by conservative friends on Facebook who've been posting all these things about how knives kill people too, and what about hammers? And we're just going to make them illegal too. An outrage! And then there was the item earlier in the week about how a woman down in Georgia actually used her handgun to defend herself, shot an intruder. And of course, all conservatives were up in arms about this. How come the mainstream media isn't reporting this? Well, okay, fine. The mainstream media did report this, but let's put it in perspective. In the 4 weeks, roughly, since the Newtown shootings up in Connecticut, we've had one reported instance where a gun owner has used her firearm to defend herself. In the meantime, there's been an average of 18 gun deaths per day. Slate Magazine has been tracking media reports of every gun death in America, and as of today, January 9th, there have been 643 gun deaths since the Connecticut shootings, including the kids killed up there in Connecticut. We had a Lancaster County girl killed on New Year's Eve down in Elkton, Maryland, when some idiot decided they were going to shoot off some celebratory gunfire. One of the bullets hit her in the head, and she subsequently died. Second Amendment, baby! And here's the deal. I said last week, I'm not looking to take all your guns. If you've got 5 guns locked up in your gun cabinet, well then good for you. But here I want to say that I wish all gun owners were as responsible as all gun owners claim to be. If you have all of those guns locked up under lock and key where no one but you can get them, that's great. But do you? I had a conservative friend of mine say to me this week, what he worries about with all these people going and buying the guns in the wake of all the gun control legislation is that you're going to have people who don't know what they're doing, who don't know about gun safety, who fear they're not going to be able to get one of these weapons, and who now pose a greater threat to themselves, their families, and their communities as a result of all of this. And so what's happening now is hysteria. This hysteria coming on both sides of the coin, because I'll admit that some of the proposed legislation out there is a bit extreme. We referenced Senator Dianne Feinstein's proposal, which is extreme. It would expand the definition of assault rifle. It would impose a $200 tax per firearm. It would require all of them to be registered with the federal government, including location and more. As I said last week, this has very little chance of passing. But what about closing the gun show loophole? What about mandatory safety training for anyone who buys a firearm? What about liability insurance? You can't just go out and buy a car. You have to have a driver's license proving that you know how to operate the vehicle. And you can't drive around without insurance. I know for a fact there's quite a few gun owners who would support common sense reforms such as this, but see, here's the problem. Any proposed legislation, regardless of how moderate it actually is, will immediately be branded as extreme by the NRA and its friends in Congress. And so they'll start screaming about freedom and outrage, even if it's something that a broad swath of America could support. And so this is why the gun control argument in America has devolved into the Piers Morgan, Alex Jones screamfest writ large. It is an emotional issue, but it doesn't have to be a matter of those who want all your guns taken now, no guns whatsoever, versus those who think they have the right to a Sherman tank in the garage because freedom! And so here's my concession to moderation. I don't want to take all your guns, but I do want something done. If you're on the other side of the fence, what's your concession?